Today on the CTV News at 5, a 13-year-old Fort Macleod boy charged with attempted murder and arson is ordered to undergo 2 sets of testing. Plus,
I made this decision after reviewing all of the relevant, extensive documentation.
Community divided reaction to approval of a controversial ski resort near Invermere is mixed. And Team Canada's second is back in the hack at the World Women's Curling Championship after missing 2 games because she was sick.
CTV News with Jackie Scantlebury.
Good afternoon. Speed and alcohol are believed to be factors in a fatal single-vehicle crash last night in Lethbridge. It happened around 10 o'clock in the 300 block of 28th Street North. Police say a truck went out of control, swerved off the road, hit a cement barricade, and then rolled. The 20-year-old man was driving, was not wearing his seatbelt, and was partially thrown from the truck. Shay Paul Horgus of Tabor died at the scene. Police tell us they are still investigating. It's the 3rd fatal collision in Lethbridge this year. And there's been another fatal avalanche in the BC backcountry. A man has died in a slide while heli-skiing this morning. The avalanche struck around 10 this morning in the Bonington Mountain Range south of Nelson, BC. RCMP say a group of 4 heli-skiers and a guide were caught up in the slide when a massive wall of snow came crashing down. RCMP say the guide and one of the skiers were able to rescue themselves and then dig out the other skiers. A viewer sent us a picture of Nelson's search and rescue after it landed back at the Beasley Fire Hall. We've learned a man and a woman were airlifted to Kootenay Boundary Regional Hospital in Trail. A 13-year-old Fort Macleod boy charged with attempted murder and arson will have to undergo a psychiatric assessment before his next court appearance. Earlier this month, firefighters pulled a 17-year-old boy from a burning home in Fort Macleod. The teen was airlifted to Calgary with life-threatening head and neck injuries. He underwent surgery and is now recovering in hospital. RCMP confirmed the boy was the victim of a violent attack at the home that happened before the fire even started. The 13-year-old accused was living with the family at the time. The youth will now undergo a 30-day psychiatric and a medical assessment. He'll remain in custody until his next court appearance on April 18th. A trust fund has been established to help the family of the house that burned down. You can donate by visiting the Chinook Regional Credit Union in Fort Macleod. A gun range in North Lethbridge will reopen tomorrow. Representatives of the Lethbridge Fish and Game Association have signed a new agreement with the city, clearing the way to reopen the facility. The range was closed more than 5 weeks ago after city police presented an updated report on stray bullet incidents over the past 7 years. While the range is being reopened, the Fish and Game Association and city will be working on a plan to relocate the shooting facility. The first step to do will be getting a study done to examine the cost and potential sites. And police had to shoot and kill a sick cow that escaped and then charged at someone today in Coaldale. The bovine got loose from a vet clinic and then wandered through town before it was corralled into a field south of St. Joseph's School. All Coaldale schools were locked down as a precaution. The animal was shot after it charged at a brand inspector who was trying to corral it. Dory Rossiter, this forecast is really changing. We're looking at now a lot more snow, a lot more precipitation over the next few days.
Yeah, and you know, some of the forecast models are still fighting with each other as to the amounts, where it's going to land, how long it's going to be here. What I can figure out so far is that we are going to start to see some freezing rain tonight. There is a chance of some scattered showers tomorrow, but it looks like the weekend will be the up and down snow event, starting as snow rain, turning to flurries, lightening up a little bit, and then turning to snow. So it's going to be a real hit or miss system, but it is coming our way. So we will get some precipitation. I'll try to give you the roadmap in a couple of minutes.
Thanks for tracking it, Dory. Well, the stage is set for another clash between government and environmentalists. This time in the East Kootenay, the controversial Jumbo Glacier project has been given the green light. But as CTV's Penny Daflos reports, that doesn't mean groundbreaking will happen anytime soon.
This is eastern BC's Jumbo Glacier, which could become North America's only year-round ski resort. This morning, Victoria gave the project the go-ahead 22 years after it was first proposed.
I made this decision after reviewing all of the relevant, extensive documentation that is on this file, visiting the site, and meeting with both First Nations and the proponent.
The proposal has seen fierce opposition in the East Kootenay in the past and remains divisive today.
I hope that it'll be a good thing.
I really think that this is really ill thought.
I think I'm for it, if it's going to create jobs here, as long as it doesn't end up falling on taxpayers' money.
We don't need this.
I think it's very telling that the announcement didn't take place here in Invermere, where the impact of this development will be felt.
Liberals say they made the announcement in Victoria since it was a neutral location.
I can tell you unequivocally that the people in the East Kootenay will be happy that we finally have some certainty around this and we can start to heal.
That doesn't mean you should expect opposition to peter out anytime soon. The anti-development lobby has been active, even recruiting a retired NHL star from the area.
We should really do our best to hold on to those areas that we have, because they're not making anymore. The pressure will just increase and increase on development.
But before any further protests are planned, the NDP says they may not be necessary.
The reality is that there's no investor behind this project today, so it's a rather hollow announcement as well, because the proponent of the resort does not have money behind him to build this.
Victoria, however, expects construction on the 23-lift resort to begin by 2014. Penny Daflos, CTV News.
Now, Southern Alberta environmental groups are hoping Lethbridge City Council will lend its support to calls for a moratorium on fracking. But Council has referred the request to its environmental committee. The Lethbridge chapter of the Council of Canadians and coalition of other groups are asking concerns about the impact of hydraulic fracturing on the watershed and air quality be examined. They say while there's been a lot of attention surrounding fracking on the Blood Reserve, gas and oil companies are also using the process at wells near Lethbridge.
We know that the city of Lethbridge is right within what could be a new oil boom, and so we think for that reason the city of Lethbridge should be concerned. But we also ultimately would like the province of Alberta to place a moratorium on fracking until more scientific study can be done, so we know for sure if it's safe or not.
Councillors say they need to hear from all sides before deciding whether to support a moratorium. They've referred the issue to the Council's Environmental Committee. The Alberta Legislature passed a new law this week, and it's once again targeting smokers. As Michael Popove reports, the days of lighting up with kids in the car are coming to an end.
I have children of my own, and I don't smoke in a vehicle while they're in there.
I kind of agree with that, actually. I don't have a problem with that.
There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. The Alberta government has passed a law banning smoking in vehicles when children under the age of 18 are present. And the fine, that'll cost you $1,000.
I think it's a very selfish act, and it's very dangerous to be exposing a child to toxic chemicals.
In a rare move, all four parties joined together to pass opposition leader Raj Sermon's bill. Its aim is protecting children from the effects of secondhand smoke.
The levels of secondhand smoke in vehicles is as high as what it was in bars when we had smoking in bars. You're looking at young children who are smaller, obviously, who breathe a lot faster than adults do. They're taking in more of that secondhand smoke.
Though the law has some good intentions, some people are saying it's the province that should butt out.
I don't think that a parent should smoke in the car with their children. I hated it when my mom smoked in the car with me. However, they are the parent, and I don't think that it's right for the province or anybody to give them that kind of a fine.
But the Canadian Cancer Society is saying it's time for the province to step in on behalf of those who are being exposed.
It's causing a lot of health issues in children, where they're linking it to increased risk of childhood cancers. There's asthma, there's ear infection. It's linked to sudden infant death syndrome.
The smoking, bad thing. But where are we going to draw the line on personal property?
If we can eliminate the secondhand smoke in vehicles, I think it will go a long way to addressing some of the health issues that children are facing.
The Canadian Lung Association is saying that exposing kids to the harmful effects of secondhand smoke is the same as child abuse. With this law passing unanimously in the Alberta legislature, that leaves Quebec as the only province in Canada without such a law. Michael Popove, CTV News, Lethbridge.
According to the Canadian Cancer Society, over 1,000 non-smokers die in Canada each year from the effects of secondhand smoke. A date for the new ban hasn't been set. More than 200 people, or 24 people rather, marched through downtown Lethbridge today to focus attention on the issues of racism and discrimination. The walk started at City Hall, where participants called for racial harmony and the end to discrimination. March 21st is the International Day for the Elimination of Racial Discrimination. The city is working with a number of groups to make Lethbridge a welcoming and inclusive community. But organizers of today's event say there's still room for improvement, and it's always good to raise awareness.
Racism and discrimination still happens here, but it's getting a little bit better. And having events and having committees like CMARD and with Aboriginal Council of Lethbridge and other groups, it's really showing that we believe in our community and we want the racism discrimination to go away.
Even though in this day and age, racism is still underlying in Lethbridge, no matter how much people try to say that they are open to it, there are those little things. And just be aware that we all live in this area. We are all going to interact at some point, and we might as well all be respectful to each other.
The march ended at Galt Gardens. Organizers say the recent killing of Jewish children at a school in France shows the struggle against racism must continue. An international child rights activist hopes to inspire Lethbridge youth. Activist Greg Kielberger met students at the University of Lethbridge this afternoon. He co-founded Free the Children when he was just 12 years old. It focuses on freeing children from exploitation and poverty and freeing young people from the thought that they are powerless to change the world. The organization has built more than 650 schools around the world. Kielberger says young people can help their peers by choosing companies and products that meet ethical standards.
From the clothes you wear, to how public transport takes place, to how you invest your money, to the books you read, the media you consume. How can we live a life more than just giving a donation at tax time? How can we change the world for the better every day?
Kielberger will be speaking at the university tonight, 7 o'clock. Tickets are free, but you do need to register to save a seat. On the markets today, loonie closed slightly lower. Here's a wrap on the final numbers.